Hi everyone. So if you remember in the previous video, we did a single LED blinking and the single LED was connected to D13. Instead, in this video, we are going to do three LEDs blinking. And I'm using D2, D3, and D4. You can see there are three resistors going to this direction here. And then I'm using the ground connecting three LEDs. So this is just to build up on top of what we already have so far. Now let's look at the code and to show you how we can blink three LEDs instead of single LED. So let's go over the code really quick. By the way, wiring those LEDs would be similar to the previous one. So the longer leg is the positive, so that will be the D2, D3, or D4. We have three different ones, and the color is just up to you. And then the shorter leg is the ground, and that will be this rail here. Remember, I connected the ground to this rail, so now anywhere here is a ground, and that's the wiring here. Now let's look over the code.
Now let's look at the code that blinks three LEDs. Here we are defining the pins, and these are the three pins, D2, D3, and D4. Here is the delay. So when you blink an LED, you need the pin to be on, then off, but there is a delay. So that's the period that the LED or the pin is high or low. We are defining the delay time to 500 millisecond or half a second basically. In the setup function, so since this is the beginner series, let me kind of expand a little bit more on the code. This is the Arduino IDE as we did the installation and the setup in a previous video. So if you are new here, I highly recommend you start from the beginning of this series. There is this setup function. In the setup function, we just declare the pins. So we tell it to use this pin 1, pin 2, and pin 3 as an output. So you can set up a pin as an output or an input. An output will mean it's going to output voltage. Input, it's going to receive. So if you have a button, for example, or if you want to, depends on some sensors that you're using. So we're going to use this in the future that you might want to set up the pin as an input. For now, let's worry about the output. And the LED pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, these are just a name that we give to these pins. You can see the variable, a constant variable as an integer is being assigned here, and we're just calling it LED pin 1. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it light 1, light 2, light 3, or whatever you want to call them. So these are just a name that you give it. And this is the setup. So we're just declaring and initializing those pins as output. And here in the loop function, that's the function that repeats itself. So it's a loop. Basically, it keeps repeating itself as long as the Arduino is on. And here, what we are doing a digital write. So we're writing a high to pin 1. So pin 1, remember, if we trace this back, this will be the D2. D2 is LED 1, and here we are doing LED 1 high with a delay of half a second. Then we are turning it off. Another delay, we're turning in 2 on, and then delay off, you get the idea. And we're just repeating the function, and it's a repeating loop. So as long as you keep it powered on, you can see the LEDs will just blinking, or like they turn on, then off, as you can see in the video. So hopefully this is makes sense. And if you have any questions or comments or any concern or something that you want to see, please leave them in the comments. I will address every question you have. And hopefully this is helpful. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.